Ladies and gentlemen, it's Q&A time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the video. Brandon Hodge here, and welcome back to another Q&A video. So I've decided to make a little change to the way I do things here on the channel. So normally I'll do a Q&A once a month, but I've decided just for the rest of this month, I'm going to try to do one Q&A a week. So weekly Q&A with yours truly, and this is going to be this week's episode. So I've asked you guys on Twitter and Instagram both. If you guys don't follow me there, go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links are in the description. That way, next week you can ask questions and be in the video for yourself. But I have, I believe, 8 questions to go through, so this should be a pretty good video. So let's go ahead and jump into these juicy questions. The first question, Brandon, will you be coming to Survivor Series in Dallas? Survivor Series in Dallas. So here's the thing. I want to. I probably will end up going anyway, but if SummerSlam isn't going to be allowing a crowd, or for some reason I can't go to SummerSlam, I'll definitely 100% be at Survivor Series in Dallas. But if it does happen, I'll go to SummerSlam. I would say it's still a good chance, about 60% chance I'll be there, so just count on me going. I just throw numbers at you for no reason. I'll be there. All right, the next question. Brandon, do you think the writing has got better in WWE since we've been in this pandemic? Do you think they're trying a little bit harder to hold people's attention? I mean, the writing's always going to be bad in WWE, in my opinion, but maybe it has been slightly less bad in the past few months because they're trying to hold people's attention and stuff, and they have to make the show more entertaining because there's no crowd to kind of hold the energy. So, I mean, it sucks that we're stuck in this, and a lot of people are not watching wrestling at all. Wrestling's really on a downswing, and pretty much all sports are on a downswing right now. But as for writing, maybe it's gotten slightly better. I mean, it's hard to notice anything. I'm sure we would notice if there was a crowd. It'd be like, holy crap, WWE's amazing right now. But, it's just not the same without the crowd. I really hope they can get them back. I mean, yeah, it's a little better with the few people they do put in the crowd, but it's just not the same. The next question, Brandon, what is your dream guitar? So for you guys that don't know, I actually play guitar, and someone asked, what is my dream guitar? I actually have it. I was able to get it somehow. It's a Gibson Les Paul. I mean, I don't know. It's like one of the most classic designs in all of music, and I just love that thing so much. But yeah, that's my dream guitar for those few who are actually into that kind of thing. The next question, Brandon, what are some cities you have not been to that you would like to travel to for wrestling shows? So for those few of you who don't know, I travel pretty much around the whole United States country. Going to wrestling shows. I've been to almost every state going to these shows, and it's a big deal, and I love traveling, doing the vlogs for you guys. But there's been a few cities I haven't been to that I would like to go to. I mean, I just kind of have to think about where I haven't been. I mean, there's a lot of them. I've never been to Miami. I've never been to Dallas, actually. I've been to the airport at Dallas, but I've never been out into the city of Dallas. That's like one of the only cities in Texas I actually haven't been to. Seattle's another one I would like to go to. I mean, there's a lot of Minneapolis. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, there's San Jose, California, San Diego, California. I mean, there's a lot I haven't been to. I've been to each state, like one city at each state, but I haven't been to a lot of different cities. But as for wrestling, yeah, I've been to kind of the main areas. Like I've been to seen the I don't know what you would call it, the northeastern crowd, kind of the Philly kind of thing, the New York City kind of thing. Then on the other side of the spectrum, I've been to Chicago, kind of felt that crowd. California felt that crowd. I mean, it's different. Each part of the country you go, the crowd is totally different. The South, I live in the South, so obviously that's the crowd I'm most familiar with, but it's a totally different group of fans and a different energy for each part of the country. So it'd be very exciting to kind of travel around even more and see how the crowds change. All right, the next question, Brandon, keeping up with the theme. This is from Miss WWE Fan 13, by the way, fellow YouTuber. Hello. She asks, keeping up with the theme of Edge and Randy Orton's greatest wrestling match ever, which is obviously BS. What is Brandon? What is your favorite wrestling match? That's a really good question. I don't know if I can answer that. Really, I mean, there's just so many. Shawn and Taker really tore it down. I mean, when you think of matches, I don't know if I'm necessarily thinking of just the match. I'm more thinking of the build-up and the significance of the match in overall of wrestling. And I think, Brett and Shawn's something I go to. There's been a lot. I mean, I have fond memories just because it was one of the more significant things in my childhood of CM Punk and John Cena. I mean, just to pin and point it down onto one, and I know I'm missing a lot. I mean, I would really have to sit down and make a list, but it's hard to say. There's been a lot of, I think it might be easier, and I might make an entire video just about the top 5 best matches in wrestling history, or maybe I've already done that. I don't know. I've done so many videos, but I think it might be easier just to like pick one match out of each decade, which is the best. So I might have to make a separate video about that, but there's been a lot of amazing ones, and I'll give you a few examples of some of my favorites. All right, the next question. Brandon, what is the current state of WWE in your opinion? The current state of WWE. Just 2 words. It sucks. I mean, it sucks. There is nothing they can do about it. It is not their fault. Wrestling is just not the same without the crowd. And now we know that. We know how important we are as fans to support this company, and hopefully they realize how important we are to support their company. I mean, it's during a pandemic. You think people would be stuck at home or, stuck with nothing to do, and they would just want to watch wrestling. But it's the opposite effect. No one's watching it right now because there's a lack of crowd. There's a lack of, I don't know what it is. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, numbers are down everywhere, not just wrestling. I mean, all sports that are actually still doing anything right now, a lot of them have just shut off until this thing is over with. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. But as for the writing, the storylines and everything, it's good. They're doing the best with what they have, but I know they're not doing anything too crazy until they get that crowd back. And hopefully within a few months, they're thinking towards the end of the summer they can do that and things can get back to normal. And honestly, I can't wait for that. I'm just kind of, just waiting things out and trying to make it. But the current state of WWE, I mean, it sucks, but it should get better here in a few months. SummerSlam, I'm very excited for to see, what they're going to do. All right, the next question. Brandon, will you go to the first wrestling show that they allow fans back at? So at some point, WWE has to allow fans to come back, and they have to do the first show. Will I go? That depends on where it is. Like, I'm not going all the way to freaking California just for a random episode of Raw or SmackDown just because it's the first show. Because I live in Tennessee, that's a huge 3,000-mile journey. I'm not going to do that, but the first show that's, like, feasible for me to go to, if there's one near me, I'll go to it. Or if it's a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam, I'll go to it. But I'm hoping the first show back will be SummerSlam. But who knows? I just know tickets are going to sell out so fast. It's going to be ridiculous. But I'm not going to go to the first show, I don't think. I mean, it would be cool if it's near me, but it's probably not going to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and the final question for this Q&A session. So the final question is, Brandon, do you think the WWE will be around in, say, 20, 30 more years? Do you think it's still going to be around? Do you think WWE is going to go out of business? Do you think pro wrestling in general is still going to be around in 30 years? My question is, yes. Wrestling is still going to be here. As for WWE, they're going to have to make some changes because they are falling beyond control, and they need to see the issue of what is going on, with... I mean, it basically all comes back to them just scripting everything and having these writers that don't know a single thing about wrestling, just ruining everything. They're going to have to open their eyes and see, because AEW's, they're going to take them over. If they keep on this downward spiral, and I know it sounds ridiculous, and I sound like a conspiracy theorist at this point, but seriously, they've got to do something, because all the wrestlers are just lacking it. They're just lacking it. They're like so cookie cutter, just so perfect, and they just need to let them loose. They just need to let them loose like they used to. And like the best promos in WWE history, I hate to break it to you, they were unscripted. So that's my little rant about that. But as for wrestling still being around in 30 years or so, yes, wrestling will still be around in 30 years or so. Wrestling's been around since the 1800s. And like originated, like they would have wrestling matches at like carnivals and stuff. And they would kind of just tour around the place doing these wrestling matches. And originally, they were actually wrestling matches. They were actually grappling, like UFC kind of thing inside of a boxing ring. But then they're like, yeah, there's an easier way to do this. We could just pretend to fight each other and then just take the money and not have any injuries or anything. So that's basically where pro wrestling originated from, and that was in the 1800s. I mean, this is a story, at least. I mean, that's a 200-year-old story, so who knows how it actually went down. But they would just do this kind of touring, kind of boxing, fighting, wrestling kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't like the wrestling we see today where they're just flying all over the place. It was a legitimate kind of UFC-style boxing mix kind of style, and they were just kind of trying to figure out how to fake it, and that was kind of how wrestling was invented or whatever. But it's been around for more than 200 years is my point. WWE wasn't that company, obviously. It was just a company that kind of took everything over because they just kept advancing faster than everyone else and kind of buying out all the other wrestling organizations as they grew. So they kind of put everyone else out of business, which made them grow faster. So, I mean, Vince McMahon's a genius. Don't make no mistake about it. I mean, we talk a lot of crap about Vince all the time, just kind of picking on him, but he is actually a legitimate genius, and WWE will still be around for probably hundreds of years. I don't think it's going anywhere. So there you guys have it, though. So there you guys have it. That is the Q&A this week by yours truly, Brandon Hodge. Next week, I will be doing another Q&A, and I will ask you guys to send in questions on Twitter and Instagram. So go ahead and make sure to follow me. My links will be down below. But thanks for watching this video, guys. If you found it entertaining, make sure to give it a like. Brand new to the channel, make sure to... If you're brand new to the channel, go ahead and make sure to subscribe and turn on the push notification little bell guy thing to be notified when I upload a brand new video. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.